Well, some of the events leading up to it were, I started to do graphology, which is handwriting analysis. And then when I was doing some television shows with that, in different cities in Australia at the time, I started to talk about that I could help people stop smoking. And one of the producers of one of the television shows of the day actually said, well, I need to stop smoking. So I made a trip to her place and her husband and cured them of smoking, and then they told all their friends, and it ended up being a chain reaction. And people wanted to be hypnotised for different things, and then I just started to evolve from that. But I'd always done it since I was 12 at school. But now it was becoming a real need out there, so I started to just follow along with that. Greatest achievement? Probably yet to have it. Look, I've had so many highs. As you said, you know, one of the highs was being flown over to the Bahamas. I always wanted to live in the Bahamas. And a friend of mine took up base there, an Australian guy, and he and his girlfriend one day just said, right, we want you to bring your course over here, your alpha rhythm training course. And I had brought alpha rhythm training to Australia in the early 70s, which was the forerunner to what people now know as Landmark Forum, and before that it was called EST. And I brought it from California in the early 70s. So he got me over there. I taught that course to a lot of the people in the Bahamas. That was a fantastic time. That was the early 70s. But since then I've, as you said, you know, taken that to different parts of the world, and now I'm a consultant again, doing what I love best, which is helping people with their various, you know, phobias, fears, losing weight, emotional problems, and so on and so on. Well, I guess I keep learning, that's one thing. Now I'm learning a special style of self-defense. I was always interested in Chinese martial arts, so that was a learning phase of my life, yoga, types of meditation. So I love learning, and I don't think you ever stop absorbing knowledge. I think that's the key to it. And that keeps me young. You know, there's still so much out there to read about and to learn about. I love YouTube, I love Google. I've been a computer nut since the early 80s. That's when I first got my computer. Hypnosis, it actually has to do with the word sleep. I think it comes from the Greek word sleep, but most people know that you're not really asleep. You don't sit there snoring when you're under hypnosis, unless you go to sleep. So it's an alternative state of consciousness. And I describe it this way, that there's 3 states of consciousness. You're awake, then you start to go to sleep, and then you go to sleep. So there's 3 stages every single day of your life. And that in-between stage, that twilight zone, is very hypnotic. For instance, you can lie there as you're going to sleep at night, your eyes are closed, and you start to think about, I've got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to catch a flight. And most people know that you'll wake up right on the dot, or just before the alarm clock rings. And that's because that time of the night, your subconscious mind is open to suggestions, and you can program yourself. Just, for instance, waking up at a certain time. So hypnosis is really like that state, or medical hypnosis is like that state that every single person goes through every single day of their life. The way I like to put it for patients now is that if you can't solve something with your mind, what else have you got? So if you can't get on top of your habit, or your lack of motivation, or your lack of inspirational ideas, or your addictions, or your phobias, or your fears, if you can't get on top of it with your mind, what else have you got going for you? And I'm simply showing people and actually harnessing the power of their mind to do that. I'm guiding them, helping them to do that. It's not like I'm overpowering them with hypnotic suggestion. People come to me because they want me to help them. So I'm cooperating with them, they're cooperating with me, and I'm guiding them to go into a state of self-hypnosis. So hetero-hypnosis, which is hypnotising somebody else, is really getting the person to hypnotise themselves. And consciousness, if you're on an electroencephalograph machine, it shows 4 different brain rhythms. The beta, which is when our eyes are open and we're talking. The alpha, which is slower, between 7 and 14 cycles per second. Then the theta, then the delta. So people who are unconscious or in a deep state of meditation trigger theta and delta. If they're under anaesthetic, they'll trigger theta and delta rhythms. They are actually unconscious. But in hypnosis, you're working in that level between, say, 7 and 14 cycles per second. So it's a kind of a semi-conscious, you're still alert, you're still aware. I'm talking medical hypnosis. Stage hypnosis, it looks to you like that person is a zombie, that they're totally a robot. They don't even know what's going on. But they are very aware, you'd be surprised. I mean, they know not to walk off the edge of the stage, mostly. They're aware of their stage surroundings. They know that there's an audience there. So medical hypnosis, yes, you're aware, you're alert, you're not unconscious. I have a lot of clients who come to me on a periodic basis, either weekly or monthly, and their aim is to have an aim, to have a goal, and to pursue that goal no matter what. Now, all of the success books tell you to do that, but some people just can't get off the ground to actually do it. They know the theory. They'll even listen to me now and say, I know that, but do they really understand it? So knowing something or knowing the theory of accomplishing your goal is not good enough. You have to actually understand that. And I can help people understand it with hypnosis so that I guess they achieve more in less time because I've focused their mind. It's a bit like a magnifying glass. It focuses the powers of the sun. Well, you can focus the powers of your mind to be able to do and accomplish what you want to accomplish a lot quicker.